Welcome back to TRB, everybody. This is the Resistance Broadcast, podcast of StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'm John. Thanks for joining us today. Thursday is our discussion show where we get into more of the less newsy stuff in Star Wars. James and Lacey with me as always. We're doing the Kessel Run. It's back. We got the 12 worst Star Wars character names that we're going to get into, and that's across all Star Wars, so it could be in a book, could be animated, but of course live action. We're each going to give 4 for our total of 12, aka Han Solo's Kessel Run. That's why it's called the Kessel Run. So if you're new to TRB, we do this thing called the Kessel Run where we pick a topic, anything in Star Wars, and put together a list of 12 between the three of us. And then, of course, we want to know what your picks are. You're probably already thinking right now. Or if you listen on Monday, you knew we were doing this. You're like, I got my list. I know the worst characters in Star Wars. Luke Skywalker. What kind of name is that?
Or pause it right now, come up with your 12 and see how many line up with what we think.
That's a good one, too.
Right.
So, how's it going, guys? What's going on with you? It's November. It's insane.
Another Mando show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Excited about that.
Yeah. Mando fan show also. Tomorrow night. We have Star Wars Explained coming on the show tomorrow night. Talking a little Chapter 10. What is going on in The Mandalorian now after off the heels of the season debut episode last Friday. We'll have fun talking about that. But yeah, so 8:30 on youtube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos. 8:30 p.m. East. That's where you can find us doing the show live. So you go there, click live chat, and you'll see all the other people there to discuss what we're doing and discuss Mandalorian. It's a good time. And you can also get on the show. We're going to have the super chat option to vault you to the front to be on the show, as always. But also just comment, leave your Pedro Pascal face score, point out your Easter eggs, have a good time with us. But don't worry, if you can't join us for whatever reason live, it's going to be on the channel always. And also, of course, on all of your audio podcast apps. So whether you're a Spotify person like me or Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud is another good one. Wherever you get your podcasts, it's there as well. So a little bit after, though. But either way, you're going to get the Mando fan show. So we're excited about that. But this is the Resistance Broadcast. This is where this is our main show, and it's Thursday, which means which segment are we doing? They're like, which one is it? Is it a new one? No, it's not. We're too busy.
We're bringing back Is the Force With You.
Remember that? We should bring that back.
I hated that.
I had little dice rolling. Was the animation.
This week we're doing Will of the Force. James.
I fear nothing, for all this, as the Force wills it.
Will of the Force this week is brought to you by our Patreon, of course. That is patreon.com/resistance broadcast if you guys want to go over there and check it out. That is how, sometimes we do these episodes where we come up with our own questions, but oftentimes we have special Patreon Resistance Officer submissions, and you can do that by becoming a officer at the major level, which is this tier 2. You could start getting involved with the show and submitting topics and hear us talk about that, and oftentimes they're things that we wouldn't think to talk about on our own. So you're actually helping us create the show and the discussion for other listeners as well. So if you want, go over there, check it out. There's so much other stuff we do, 8 mini episodes a month, Q&As, all sorts of other stuff, just, private conversations and other. It's great. Check it out. The people we do want to thank the most, though, are our Patreon generals. They are awesome, and I'm going to give them a quick shout out here. Those people are Carmelo, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, Neil Shaw, David Probus, John Reese, Micah Harrison, Michael Gaines, Jetta Rosewater, Bethany, Russ Harbison, and Kendall Gilner. So thank you guys so much for being generals and being part of the show. And welcome to anybody who is new or who wants to join. Come come hang out. We're going to kick off the show like what I was talking about with the Resistance officer submission, and this one's going to come from Commander Alex Zukas, and Alex wants to know, will we see Vader's castle and the Eye of Webbish Bog in the new Obi-Wan series? So Kenobi's going to be coming out. Are we going to see either one of these pop up? Lacey, what do you think?
So, first of all, I really love this question, Alex. Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, is it possible to say one yes, the second no? Or is it all in, all out?
I think you do whatever you want.
It's more fun to get specific.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get specific then. I think we will see a glimpse of Vader's castle at some point in Kenobi. I think it's easy to do like a flashback or kind of just like a moment of it so people will be like, oh my gosh, it's Vader's castle. The spider baby head, Eye of Webbish Bog, which, guys, is just a complete missed opportunity in The Rise of Skywalker. That will not be seen in Kenobi. I hope they use it for something else eventually. I don't think it's going to be Kenobi.
Yeah. John, what do you think? Vader's castle, yay, nay? Eye of Webbish Bog, yay,
Spider
or
head.
nay?
Spider baby head.
Sometimes I think recent Star Wars likes to be cute, and I think parallels in modern television and movies are really big. Bookends, parallels, mirror type things. I could see them, for whatever reason, going back to Mustafar to churn up the memories or whatever. I just don't know how dark the Kenobi series is going to get. That's what it comes down to. I hope it's not too dark. I hope they don't go too mopey with Obi-Wan. I want to see Obi-Wan being...
Mopey-Wan Kenobi?
Mopey? Is that what you said? Mopey-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah.
That's good.
You're welcome.
Well done.
That's the name of the show. Obi-Wan Kenobi Show.
You're the new dad joke king.
No.
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Oh, man. I hope we get the virtuous Jedi that we love. I hope it's not too dark, but I could see them going back to Mustafar a little bit. So
I just missed one that was right there. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. You love the mopey thing. You're really into that word.
I like that word.
We're not going to see the Oracle thing. That's not happening. But Vader's castle, I'm going to say no, though it's possible. So I'm going to say no to both. We will not.
And somewhere in the universe, Neil Scanlon cried out.
Yeah.
If we didn't see Vader's castle in Rogue One, I would lean towards yes, but I'm gonna go no here.
So I would love to see both. I would think that was cool.
Sure.
The one thing I definitely don't want to see is what we were talking about a minute ago. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Kenobi.
But no, the thing is John, so you said because we saw it in Rogue One, we're not going to see it in Kenobi. And I know, but I thought so surely that we were going to get Vader's castle in Last Jedi because it was just in Rogue One, and it was going to be a way for Kylo to go and visit this, and we're going to get glimpses of the Vader in the world that he was involved in, and it was a tie-in, and it was a tie-in to this peripheral Star Wars as well. I thought it was so perfectly there that I feel that they still have that to use somehow, and I do think that it's probably going to be in this Kenobi show. I actually don't know. I mean, I guess I know where the Eye of Webbish Bog thing is coming from because it's also on Mustafar, but I feel that is so connected to like the deeper Sith Eternal and all this other stuff that I really can't imagine Obi-Wan or anybody else like interacting with it. It would be pretty wild if they did it, but I have to agree. I think we're all on the same page here that we're going to see Vader's castle, but not Eye of Webbish Bog. Right.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question.
Real quick. I'm sorry, but I was just thinking about production timelines. Like Rise of Skywalker came out and was being edited towards the wire, and it came out in December 2019. Kenobi going through like rewrites right around that time to be restructured into a show. They would have had to, I would assume they wouldn't have put it in Kenobi if it was in episode 9. So then they would have had to have said, oh, well, we didn't use that. Then let's find a way to add it to Kenobi. I just don't see that type of thing happening.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So will we hear any official details on the next theatrical Star Wars film before the end of the year, beyond what we know? Of course, we're talking about the Taika Waititi, or we already know that it's Taika Waititi directing and co-writing it with Krysty Wilson-Cairns, I think is her name.
Cairns, I think. Yeah.
Cairns, yeah. But
did you see? You're covering for me, but did you see in the show notes? I did a Freudian slip and I wrote Taika Waiting.
No.
Instead of Waititi.
What I think is funny because I didn't remember the person's name, and I said Wilson-Cairns because it was like an R, or I said Cairns because it was an R and an N, and if anybody knows the R and the N.
Yeah.
I need to make bigger show notes.
Taika's Waiting.
Yeah. Okay, getting back to the point here, will we hear any official details on the next theatrical Star Wars film before the end of the year beyond what we know? John, you're starting on this one. What do you think?
We're not. They're using The Mandalorian to distract us and buy more time. The holidays, Mandalorian's taking us all the way through week before Christmas. Holidays, you don't put out news. So at the very earliest, we'll hear something in Q1 about the next Star Wars movie, as the outlook of maybe COVID improves and that sort of thing. But we're not going to hear a darn thing about the next Star Wars movie in 2020.
Lacey, do you think we're getting any more news before the year's up?
I don't think we'll hear any more details. I think right now the focus is The Mandalorian, and that's what the focus will be for the rest of the year. Because that's something they can bank on, that people will be talking about nonstop and will be making them money.
Yeah, I hate to sound like a broken record on this one, but I feel like the by the end of the year is too easily written off. It's not going to happen by the end of the year. I feel like maybe if we pushed it, another 6 months, another year, like by the end of 2021, but I know that it starts to seem ridiculous, but also at the same time, I'm thinking Lucasfilm is not telling us anything. So
they're taking
going all the way through 2021 and not hearing about a theatrical film, but being flooded with all the television stuff.
What if I changed it really quick and said, from now until Star Wars Day, May the 4th, 2021, will we hear anything about the next Star Wars movie?
Yes.
I still say no.
And that thing is going to be, we've moved it back another year.
Oh my God. And Celebration. They're just like... Celebration's still 2022 right now, right? They didn't change that yet?
Still 2022.
Not yet.
And my understanding is that there are no plans to change it.
Oh, really? No plans? Okay, that's good. That's good for us. Sooner the better. I miss it. I'm going to say yes to by Star Wars Day. But I'm probably wrong. James is probably right. But me and Lacey are probably wrong. But we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think they have anything planned at all. All right, we're going to do another one by one of our Resistance officers, and that's Major Ollie. Ollie wanted to know, will we see the High Republic Yoda in live action or in a film sometime in the future? So I don't know exactly how this ties in, but Lacey, what do you think? Do you think we're going to see a High Republic version of Yoda?
No, I think High Republic is not making the transition to live action or animation or anything. I think it's books.
Okay. John, how could this be done?
I don't think it's going to.
My gosh, John and I are agreeing on everything.
Yeah, though I could see them eventually working High Republic into being able to sell it and do an animated thing, but he's asking live action, and I just don't think that's going to be in the cards for that era. We may see Yoda again. We may even see Yoda before the High Republic, but I don't think we're going to see him in that era that they're dedicating, like you said, James, to that palette for the authors.
So we did just get a Frank Oz involvement of bringing Yoda back to a VR, like virtual reality video game. That was just announced, and it does take place in the High Republic era. So...
Wait a minute.
That's probably about as close. It does not?
I thought
it takes place after.
I thought that's
before
Galaxy's
Rise
Edge.
of Skywalker.
Yeah.
The one they just announced is Tales from Galaxy's Edge, but it's a new thing and it takes place in the High Republic.
Does it?
Yep.
Still not live action, though.
Maybe I'm crazy. You guys can look it up. But I was going to say that is probably as close as we're going to get to being able to see Yoda like not in a book or in like a comic or something like that. You're going to be able to kind of interact with him potentially.
But it's a no.
But it is a no. Yeah. I can't imagine them doing something live action theatrical revolving around the High Republic at this point in time. We got to see it. We got to see what it is. Like we're still talking about releasing books and stuff like that.
Do we know this?
Lacey, how far are you on that fact check?
I'm pulling up an article right now.
James, did we?
It will take place to a Star Wars era we've never seen before. And it will take place, quote, which takes place thousands of years before the Skywalker saga during the age of the High Republic.
Thousands of years before the Skywalker saga? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be 230 years. 200 years.
That's what the article says. I'm just reading what the article says.
Oh.
But they do say during the High Republic.
Okay. So it wasn't.
And it says, while Lucasfilm's ambitious publishing initiative, aka Project Luminous, won't launch until early 2021, fans can get an early taste of the Jedi Order when Tales of the Galaxy's Edge debuts next month.
Yeah, Tales of Galaxy's Edge, but it's called the Temple of Darkness is what it's called.
Temple of Darkness, yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I believe in the trailer it does have Yoda. And before I recognized that it was High Republic era, I saw him and the outfit that he was wearing, and I go, that looks like the High Republic Yoda. And I know that sounds weird to say, but that it did stick out to me.
You mean
the
Revenge of the
quote
Sith
is,
Yoda?
It's thrilling to see the era of High Republic expand beyond the printed page, especially with regard to Master Yoda.
Yeah, because he talks about, they're like, and what about the temple? And he's like, the temple's lost. All the Jedi are gone and stuff. I don't know. It's
okay, well, I
interesting.
guess my answer is erroneous, because I didn't know this took place.
No, your answer's not. This isn't live action.
Yeah, it isn't live action.
Well, still not live action. I stand by.
So your answer is not erroneous.
I know, I just said that.
It's erroneous. It's erroneous. Is that the opposite of erroneous?
It's erroneous. Pro-ronus.
Peronus.
All right. Okay. That all being said, yep, we're all kind of in agreement that no live action Yoda version of him, High Republic version. All right, last question for Will of the Force this week is going to be, forget the Mandalorian. It's done. Forget it. Get it out of here. Will Boba Fett appear in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
Whoa.
I feel like that Drake meme right now that's like, Mandalorian. And it's like Kenobi series. All right, Lacey, what do you think on this one?
No, I don't think he will.
No.
No
Boba Fett in the Obi-Wan series?
Mm-mm.
Okay, John, what do you think?
So this is 10 years before the Battle of Yavin. Boba Fett alive, well, rocking, rolling. He will.
You're saying he's going to be in The Mandalorian and in Obi-Wan?
Mm-hmm. But in Obi-Wan, he's going to be, that was Boba Fett. And it's going to be in the background really quick. But he will appear. Like, where's Waldo?
Cameo.
I mean, he's on Tatooine. I'm just saying. He works for Jabba the Hutt. It's all there. He can be there just, dragging a prisoner, doing something arbitrary, and they could just be like, let's dunk Boba Fett in there. The way Boba Fett's supposed to appear in Star Wars. Like, up there, that's Boba Fett holding his gun.
So
most of the time in Star Wars, he's just standing there like an idiot.
Yeah, so this is interesting to begin with.
No offense.
Will Jabba the Hutt show up? You know what I mean? It's like so many other questions too.
Yeah. I think we did that once, and then we were like, no, because they're going to save him for Solo.
Probably. But so I did a little bit of research, and this isn't great, but in the Star Wars comic, he's looking for information on the Rebel pilot. Boba Fett is looking for information on the Rebel pilot who blew up the Death Star. And at one point, he's able to kind of track back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I believe he goes to that cantina and he's asking for information on Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that points to, at that specific spot in timeline in the movie era, he doesn't know who Obi-Wan is or have any sort of relation to him. So I doubt there will be any sort of confrontation there. But that does not rule out what John was saying. However, I still think he probably will not show up.
Completely
just
fair.
For overall canon reasons.
Yeah.
But it would be cool. It'd be a good little throwaway or whatever.
But Boba Fett.
Yep. Okay. So that's it for Will of the Force, and John's going to take us into our next section, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think. Or it's going to be terrible, like all the names.
All right, guys, it's time for the Kessel Run.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
We are doing the 12 worst Star Wars character names. Not necessarily the weirdest or the silliest, or the worst. The worst Star Wars character names. So again, the Kessel Run, for anyone who's new, it's our combined list of 12 things about varying Star Wars topics. And this week, 12 worst Star Wars character names. So we're going to take turns going around to come up with, we each brought 4 to the table. We are pretty certain that we haven't doubled down, which is Jon Favreau's X-Wing pilot's name in The Mandalorian coming up. But we will put together our list of 12 for you, and then what we want you to do in the comments or on Twitter, quote tweet our episode, however you want to hit us up. Let us know if you agree with our picks, if you disagree with our picks, and what your choices are for the worst Star Wars character names. This week, Lacey, we have you going first.
What?
You don't want to go first?
No, I never want to go first.
You can go last then.
Yay!
So
Democracy.
Lacey thinks it's a countdown, so she thinks like if she goes last, hers is the best pick.
No, I like to hear your picks first.
James, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
Democracy.
I'll kick it off.
So we'll do James. Let me just write this down. James, John, and skip Lacey. And then, all right, James, what do you got?
I'm gonna kick it off. And just so everybody knows, they don't know my picks, but I know their picks. Yeah, they know each other's picks.
James thinks he's. I don't know what James does. He thinks
he
he's
likes
cool.
to be sneaky.
Yeah. This is really gonna knock their socks off.
I mean, I don't have anything like crazy or whatever. In fact, because of that, you guys took a couple of the ones that I had. But let's kick it off with someone who basically just is named after poop, in my opinion. And that would be Count Dooku. I honestly have as long as I've been around the character, I just can't not hear Count Dookie every time, and I can't get away from the idea of like, how do you stand up in front of people and be like, that's my name, you know? And they poke fun of it in his novel, The Jedi Lost or whatever, and there's like people teasing him about his name and stuff like that, and he gets upset and offended by it. But it's like, where did he come up with it? How are you going to land on like, you know, who's going to be the big villain of my second chapter of Star Wars? Count Dooku. Like, it's just such a stupid name. And I mean, he's a cool character. Like, we all like him, but just such a dumb name that it pulls you out of how cool that character could have been. Because he could have been Count Tyrannus or something, and we would have been like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we'll make his Darth name Tyrannus. We'll make his real name really stupid.
To be fair,
maybe it was supposed to be pompous.
Maybe
it was supposed to be like, Count Poo Poo, you know, or something. Maybe that's supposed to be what it is. But
Pooju or whatever they said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair though, for the dark side, he was the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. Well,
Moving on.
all right. Well, if he fought in the lightsaber duel at the end of the Phantom
Don't
Menace,
do it.
It would have been the Deuce
Don't
of the
do
Fates.
So what did you say? Because you guys laughed.
The Deuce of the Fates.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Duel of the Farts.
Sorry. All right.
All right, moving on.
All right, let's wipe that clean.
Oh my gosh, you're like an 8-year-old.
Okay. Well, I didn't know his picks ahead of time, so this is all riffing here. All right, I'll go. What are my picks again? Where are they? Oh. Which one I want to do first? My first one is Finn.
What?
Yeah.
I was surprised by this one. I don't mind that name.
So
it's cool.
With Finn, it's definitely a bit, right? And but to me, like when I was thinking about it, it's not one you would think of. So I'm like, let me introduce that and see what happens. Because to me, it's lazy for one. Like Poe was just like, FN, huh? Finn, what do you think? And he's like, all right, I'll be Finn. But then it's just like,
he was like, no. Dinna.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's over directed by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
But like,
I hate that name.
if his stormtrooper name was like TM38, it would have been like, yeah, you're Tim. You're Tim now. It's just like
What
and
what if he said he was taken from a family he'll never know, and then Rey looked at him and said, Solo.
Oh.
But it's like, and he just accepts it. He's like, yeah, all right, that's my name. That's cool. That's fine. And I get that they did it, and it was probably a Kasdan move. Like, how can we bond these two as quick as possible? Like, let them agree over this name, and like, that connects them. He's like, you help me shed that Stormtrooper ID, and I get that. Trust me, I'm not lost on that. I know Star Wars can be deep, guys. I know, but Finn and he never got the last name. It was just always Finn. I'm just Finn, the Finn. And when I see the character, and I know his name is Finn, I'm like, there's something missing here. So we need like Jedi Master Finn or Master Jedi Finn or something. Like Finn is like, even General Finn sounds terrible. And that's who he is now. He's General Finn. And he has the most general name possible. General Finn. So I don't know. That's my pick. What do you think?
I like the name Finn. I think it works in the story. Originally his name was Sam, I believe. It wasn't Finn.
Sam.
Which is funny you say that you don't really like Finn because, I love Rey and who she is and the character, but I really wanted her name to be Kira, which ultimately got used for something else. But yeah, I mean, I get that. It's like one of those things that like me personally, my name, I really not only identify with as me, but it's made me who I am. So when I see something like Finn just kind of getting this throwaway name and you're like, that's what you're going with? Like whatever this guy came up with, you don't know this guy.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. I don't know if it's the worst name.
It's like I said, it's definitely a bit.
He was going to be SM2187. Sam.
That's why they wanted him to be Sam. Right. Yeah. All right. Lacey, what is your first pick?
My first pick, which by the way, all my picks I've realized fall under a similar letter except one. And then I found that I took this one step further. And not only did I pick names I don't like, I associated them with characters I really don't like. So I just picked characters I didn't like. And they just happen to have terrible names. All right. So, and before everyone at home goes crazy, Tally's not on this list. Tally Lintra actually has a great name. I like the name Tally. However,
save that
dead.
clip.
Just a friendly reminder. She blew up. So, there's that. Okay. So my first character is Slowin' Low. And he is the character from The Last Jedi that's like, they parked on the beach. That
There
guy.
they are.
There's the shuttle parkers.
Yeah. First of all, hate that character. But second of all, this name is so dumb. Slow and Low.
Where did he get the name from? Like, what?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's like probably because the character talks slow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a Beastie Boy thing.
Is it?
No, because that's JJ.
That's Ella Asti.
Elo Asti.
Yeah, but I thought it was the same thing, slow and low.
I don't think Ryan would do the Beastie Boys thing.
I thought he did because it was the same creature. I don't know. Maybe slow and low is not a Beastie Boys thing. So you guys continue.
Maybe
Anyway,
it is.
I just think it's not like I don't know. It's just a lame name. I didn't really like it. I don't have like really technical answers for all my names. It's just, I don't really like it.
It's
just
fun.
dumb.
So his name wasn't mentioned in the movie, right?
No, it wasn't.
So
He's
it's
just
one of
the
those.
guy that's like, hey, they want this way. That guy.
Yeah, there's the Shuttle Parkers. It's he almost sounds like Goofy. I wonder if like Joseph Gordon-Levitt was like, I got it. I'm gonna be Goofy. But
Slow and low is a whiskey, and their tagline is rock and rye. Ryan Johnson? No, I'm just kidding.
But
It's like one of those videos you see online that they're like, 7 + 7 + 7 = 0.
Oh, Black Dynamite.
When you go down, you're like, Ryan,
love
slow and low.
Wait a minute.
Whiskey
Yeah.
rye. Ryan Johnson.
if he wasn't
We all
named,
know the Greek god of war, Mars.
I've connected
Mars Candy
everything.
Company, M&M's.
Wait a minute. So if he was in the credits with the name, maybe Ryan was a part of it. But if he wasn't named until the visual dictionary, then maybe Pablo named him. And we know Pablo likes to booze. So James, you might be onto something there.
It's true. Also, it was a character voiced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so maybe there's a connection there.
I agree with the pick though. I don't like the name.
It's just kind of, I don't know. And this is probably from my own expectations. It's like, Luke Skywalker is like the epitome of like a really cool name. So when you see something like slow and low, it just doesn't sound good.
Sure.
It sounds like the character it is.
Yeah.
So I have to give him that.
All right,
It
right
matches
on.
the character.
Cool. All right.
But it's the worst.
All right. Our fourth pick, James. This one's from you. Who you got?
Guys, I think I'm going to go with the old Droopy McCool.
He was on my honorable mentions list.
Droopy McCool.
Yeah.
All right. Why Droopy McCool, James?
Because to me, that is like the equivalent of they didn't even care. Like
we need.
I feel like there's a lot of characters that people used to name. Like, for instance, they'd be like, Hammerhead or like Squid Face and stuff like that, or Prune Face is maybe what I'm thinking of, and like fans would name these characters just because they just kind of think it's funny or whatever, but the characters had real names. This is like an example of where they just
we need one more name.
They literally just did not care and just came up with something that is like not even like a good, like he's supposed to be like a rock star, like an underground something or something, and it doesn't even fit with that at all. It's like I literally couldn't even think of how they came to this other than somebody being like, okay, I just created a fictional character and he needs a name. And you're like, well, what is he about? No, I'm not going to tell you any more details. Just give me a name.
Well,
And the
he
person's
looks
like,
droopy
I don't know.
in the face. So
sort of, but I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe it's like Joe Cool, Snoopy McCool.
Mick's always added
don't
on
know.
to lazy naming, like Bodie
Oh, yeah,
McBoatface.
Mick,
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby Big does nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. So it just is, it's so lazy that they even take that trope of like being like, I don't know, he's kind of droopy Mick cool guy, or whatever. I don't know. It's just dumb.
And
it's just a stupid name. It doesn't fit at all.
I wish I knew when the character was named, because a lot of those like Return of the Jedi characters were probably just had no name until they're like, let's
Toys.
just make an action figure of him.
Yeah.
So he could have been
That's
named
true.
in like 1995.
By a Kenner and Hasbro person, yeah.
Yeah, something we're gonna get lit up.
Although
on
I
the
bet they would
comments,
have
I'm
put
sure.
out toys before.
You think there was an original run Droopy McCool?
Well, today it feels like they choose like 12 characters, and then they're just going to make like a bunch of those 12 characters. But I feel like back in the day, I mean, I don't really know the history, but I felt like back in the day they were more about like making like one of everything. And then I don't know, like when you got there, you're like, oh, these are the characters nobody knows are the ones that were there hanging on the shelf. Whereas like now you still see popular characters hanging on the shelves because they only made like 12.
John, I think your gamer tag needs to be Droopy McCool.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. I'm trying to look at the old boxes from Return of the Jedi, and it does look like there was an action figure of him, but I don't see his name on the box. It just says the Max Rebo Band.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. He is named in the Power of the Force figures, which was 95. Very interesting. But it is a crap name.
Pretty dumb name.
Yeah, pretty dumb name.
Lazy name.
Yes. Droopy McCool. So, yeah, we're doing a lot of the lazy... So you two back to back with the lazy picks. With the characters themselves, I mean. The picks were not lazy. Let's get that squared away. All right. My next one is... Which one do we want to go with here? Elon Sleaze Bagano.
That's a gimme.
From Attack of the Clones. It's just like, let's Italianize a sleaze bag and just add Ano at the end. I don't know where Ellen or Elon comes from, but this is the guy who tried to sell Obi-Wan the Death Sticks.
Yeah.
In the Outlander Club in Attack of the Clones. So I just think it's I don't want to say, it's not even that it's lazy. It's just like, it's a word, and it's not even hidden. Like some of these names, you're like, oh, that is supposed to be this. It's the first part of his name is sleazebag. Like it's like that's such an American slang, like Earth term that it's like, what's his name? Ellen Sleazebag. Oh no. Like I just think it's such a stupid name in Star Wars. I don't know who came up with it. I should have looked up who came up with it. Maybe George Lucas was very controlling over the prequels, so maybe he came up with it. Or maybe someone suggested it to him and he thought it was funny. And he's like, or you know what, this guy's supposed to be such a bad person and I don't want kids to smoke. Let's call him Sleazebag so kids really understand that this guy's not a good guy if they make an action figure or something.
I could see George like telling someone along the lines. He's like, and then we got this guy. I've named him Sleaze Bagano. Because his again, a guy's name who's not in the movie. So the only way you get his name is in other media, which could be maybe an action figure or something. And then he's probably like, well, we're all going to make the action figure of this character if we make sure the kids understand that he's a sleazebag. You gotta put sleazebag on. Do you think that like the toy companies go, hey, is there an official name for this? No? Okay, and then they name him? Or do you think it's more like, hey, we need a name for this character? Well, I mean, like back in the day, not like today.
Well, this was like, 2002.
I think that's still back in the day to me. I mean, they might be playing in different rules.
They made an action figure of him, though. I mean, well, let's be honest. The prequels, they made an action figure of everybody.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, he has an action figure. I'm looking at the card right now. He comes with something. Oh, he comes with the bar. He walks right up to the bar, and there it is. Ellen Sleazebagano Outlander Nightclub Encounter, and it's him with the drinks.
Did it say nighttime encounter?
Nightclub encounter. He comes with the bar. He has a blaster, and he's. I don't know if he's holding the death sticks.
He doesn't come with death sticks. Okay.
I think he is holding death sticks. No, he's holding drinks. I think they probably couldn't sell.
Something with. Yeah.
But that's pretty funny.
He comes with drugs.
I would say that's probably like the number one answer for most people. Like when you think of the worst Star Wars name, it's like the go-to.
Head,
yeah. I almost was hesitant to pick it, but I was like, it's got to be on the list. All right. So number 6. So to get us halfway there. Lacey, who's your next pick for our list?
So my next pick is someone that I think people are going to get annoyed by that he's on this list, but he is. And that name is Scio Bibble.
Scio Bibs?
Now, the character can be someone you like, and his whole role in the story can be something you like, but you have to admit his name is pretty dumb. Especially as like a government official who's like the guy who's communicating everything to Queen Amidala, is the name Scio Bibble.
Is it Scio or Scio? I thought it was Scio. Either way.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah. Like Han or Han.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
It's just like, Bibble, really? Like, how are you going to trust anybody with government information and or your life when their last name is Bibble?
Well, his big claim to fame is the like, it can only mean one thing: invasion.
You must contact me. Like, yeah. I
guess his name is kind of annoying, and he's kind of annoying, so I guess it fits. Like, but still a terrible name.
My favorite line from him or interaction from him in the prequels is when he tries to consult with Anakin, and he goes, "What are your thoughts on this, Master Jedi?" And Padme just like embarrasses Anakin. He goes, Anakin's not a master."
Yeah.
And Anakin's like,
he gets shut down.
"I will kill you in 2 years."
Yeah, that interaction is really funny. Yeah.
Later.
Like, she straight up embarrasses him. Like, she could have let that go.
Skywalker, what do you think? Oh, I'm sorry. He's not a doctor. He's a nurse.
Yeah, there was no reason for her to do that. That was such a jerk move on her part. But anyway, Scio Bibble, you're not like, if Palpatine's name was Scio Bibble, he's not taking over the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
His name is Sheev, though, which is also not a great name.
Sheevy bitch.
I feel like people were we've come to accept it, but I feel like when that was like official, people were like, Sheev?
Palpatine's cool, though.
Sheev? Palpatine's cool. Yeah. No problem there.
When I first heard his name, again, action figure, I think, I thought it was Palpatine. Because you didn't hear his name until the prequels. So in the mid-90s and stuff, I always thought it was Emperor Palpatine. I don't know if anyone else ever did. But then in the prequels, they say Palpatine. And now I can't, like, when I think Palpatine, I'm like, oh, Palpatine. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Good pick. Scio Bibble, definitely not a good name. Okay. James, number 7 out of 12 on our list. Again, this is the Kessel Run of the worst Star Wars character names. Our 12. Doesn't mean they're the definitive 12, but it's our 12.
Yeah. So my third pick is actually kind of similar to the other one, and it's not the lazy thing. It's just dumb. And I don't really know why, but I mean, I kind of do. It's a little bit of a gimme, but I'm going to go with Therm Scisha Punch.
Oh my God. You're off the show. That's it. 2-person show now.
Therm.
You both had a crazy reaction to this. You guys like the name Therm Scissor Punch?
It is one of the greatest. I would put it on the greatest Star Wars names list.
I think it's a good name.
It's so good.
Okay, it's an okay. What is happening? It's not a good name. It's a good name as in like, ironically, it's a good name because it's such a bad name.
I love it.
Well, James, I can't. I'm not allowed to chime in anymore because I have reached the point where everything in Solo is perfection. And that's my fault. That's my journey, and that's
like my journey.
That's my journey. But I get your point. It is a stupid name.
Yeah, I mean,
I disagree.
To me,
give your reasoning. Like, what? Why is it on your list?
Well, like, I feel like it's obvious. This is stupid. It's like saying like we're doing like the worst movies, and I'd be like, I gotta go with The Room, and you'd be like, oh, I love The Room. I've had so many good times with The Room or something, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but you wouldn't put it on the best. You might
says a punch.
Like it or have fun with it because it's so bad it's good. But this is definitely a name that's like, it's a bad name. Like, it was I mean, when it came out, it was the talk because it wasn't like people were like really enthralled with how awesome that character's name is.
Right.
I was.
Well, he was like a lobster, and he
awesome because it's bad. Yeah, not awesome because it's shocking. It's like astounding. You're like, I can't believe they went that route and called that character such a ridiculously, I guess you could say, obvious. Like he's got claws on his hands, so they're like scissors, and they're on his hands, so he's like punching. But it's so dumb.
Oh wait,
it's appalling.
Never even thought about that.
You didn't think that's pretty obvious, John. He's got his protection glasses on, or his perfection glasses on.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so thermal scissor punching.
Wait, what's thermal?
I don't know. It's the glasses she was just talking about.
He has glasses?
No, therm scissor punch. If you're gonna go the thermal route, I'm pretty sure lobsters are like really sensitive to it.
Oh, so maybe I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway. I feel like I don't have to defend why it's a stupid name.
Oh, hi, Therm.
Oh, you don't have to defend anything. I'm just saying I really like that name. I was very shocked it's on your list.
So you would be...
But I'm also shocked that Finn is on John's list.
There you go.
But you would have been happier if they upgraded that name to a more important character, like Poe, for instance. If it was Rey, Finn... and Therm Scissor Punch as the main trilogy.
I mean, that would be pretty awesome.
James, I think, you're right. It's a bad name. I just think it's funny that people have rallied around that character so much because...
Yeah.
But
it's because of the name.
No, you're
That's
right.
the thing.
You're
it's
right.
like, it's so bad. Yeah. It's so appalling, astonishingly bad.
It is bad.
That it's
still waiting
good.
for my action figure.
Yeah. It is bad. Okay. I'm going to go with our 8th item on the list. Which one do I want to go with here? I'm going to go with Mama the Hutt. As
I had this on my list too.
Mama the Hutt. So when I thought of it, I was like, so if they ever did a show of the Hutts, it would immediately be like that show Dinosaurs on ABC.
Oh, I love that show.
And I was thinking of the baby, not the mama.
That show, I loved that show.
Like the Hutts are supposed to be gangsters. You're not supposed to want to be near them, mess with them, screw around with them. And they kind of dumb that down for me in the Clone Wars with Zero the Hutt, Mama the Hutt, Papa the Hutt, whatever. And I just think it's a really dumb choice. I didn't like it. I think she's Jabba's grandmother, I believe is what the tree line there is. And so imagine like Jabba the Hutt being like, I'm doing this in honor of my mama. In his Jabba voice. Mama. Like, what? Mama the Hutt. I just think it's stupid. So that's my next one.
I would agree. I think that's pretty dumb. I think that's kind of one of those names on this list that you're like, you didn't even try. You didn't even give me some weird vowels or something. You just went with Mama. Come on, guys.
You think that was George or Filoni?
I don't know.
I think that was George.
Probably.
I have a feeling there might be something. I don't know about the cultural aspect of this, but like a mafia, like Italian, like Mama. Like
that's what I was thinking. Like
Mama, Papa.
Sometimes in the movies, the Mama is like the evil mastermind behind everything.
Yeah. So I think what's Dread? I think Mama was the villain. Anyway, it's not good. I feel like it's so perfectly on the nose, but like not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who is Jabba the Hutt's parental figure? Oh, that's Mama the Hutt. It's like, that's stupid. Like,
Imagine that's like the ending question on a trivia game, like a big trivia championship.
Oh, yeah. All right. What do we got next here? Lacey, you're up. We have 4 picks to go on the Kessel Run here. This is our 9th pick.
So I put this next person in here, but I'm actually going to take a step to the side with the person that's related to them, because I think that's a worse name than the name that I chose. So the name I initially chose was from The Last Jedi. It was Stammeroni Stark. which is the guy that blows up with Tali, rightfully so with this name. But I'm actually going to pick his father, who is Chomsalot Stark.
All right, so we're going with that.
Chomsalot Stark, yes.
Where has this character appeared in anything? Or do we just know of them?
We just know of them from what I read.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a book.
In a book, yeah.
Yeah. What's the one with Rose?
Was it Blue Squadron or something?
Something
Blue
Squadron.
Cobalt
What
Squadron?
group is she with?
Cobalt
Iron
Squadron. Cobalt.
Cobalt Squadron. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was that book.
Initially, I chose Stammeroni. I was like, that's kind of stupid. Sounds like pepperoni. It's like beefaroni. Stupid name. But then I was reading further and I saw Chomsalot and I was like, come on, Chomsalot, really? It's self-explanatory. That is a dumb name. It doesn't sound Star Wars at all. If anything, because of the Stark, it kind of sounds Marvel-y, but then Chomsalot, it sounds like a little kid's show. Like, come on. Where did this name come from?
Yeah, I'm trying to...
I do love a good salami and pepperoni sandwich, though. I might chomp a lot on that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking... he does not have a Wikipedia entry. So, as
Look
of
up
now...
Stammeroni Stark.
No, he does. Yeah. So, he's just father of Stamroni Stark, which I looked it up because Lacey was kind enough to actually provide her picks. James. I'm just kidding. So Stamroni Stark is played by Noah Segan, who is he's the Greg Grunberg for Rian Johnson to J.J. Abrams. He's in all of his movies. And the name Stark, I guess, this guy Segan said Ryan puts in a lot of his screenplays, at least at the beginning, as name holders for characters, because that's the name of his uncle. His uncle is named Stark.
I do like Stark. I'm just saying Chomsalot.
No, yeah, that is a
little lackluster.
That is a bad name. So we'll go with that, and I'm putting a question mark as to what media, because I'm keeping track of which movies and stuff these people came from, and we'll run that down later. All right, 3 to go. Good pick there. 3 to go, James. What's your last pick to help us get through the Kessel Run?
My last pick is a character from the Clone Wars who you don't really think about it when they say his name, but when you realize what his inevitable story is, it starts to stick out why they named him this. I'm talking about Jedi Master Ima-Gun-Di.
I almost did this, but I love the name, but I understand why you picked it.
Because the character is killed off. He's only around for 3 episodes. And so you start to be like, oh, we've never seen this Jedi before, but they tell you his name in the first episode. And then 2 episodes later, he's killed. So obviously, when you think about where that character was going, they named him this because I'm a gun die.
That is clever, though, you know?
It's obviously sounds like Qui-Gon or something like that, and they played
really
with
funny.
they played with the pronunciation of his name just to kind of cover it up. But I mean, the character is named I'm going to die. Yeah. And then 2 episodes later, they kill him. And I looked up videos of it, and the video is called Ima-Gun-Di Last Stand. Is the name of like the scene that they refer to.
Oh man.
I don't know.
That is, I mean, it's a stupid name. But it's funny. You know?
Yeah, it really reminds me of kind of what you were saying with the sleazebagano. It's kind of like, what's the point of this character? What are we doing with the character? And then just like naming him kind of that. It's not really like a reference to anything. It's more like, in this case, it's a point to his like arc or his destiny. But like, I don't know, a lot of times they kind of play around with those like crappy names when it has more to do with like their character, like what the personality, like character, not character.
I'm just looking up this quote here from his Wikipedia. What do you think, Qui-Gon? I think you should be quiet. I'm trying to watch I'm a Gun and Yoda. So it was Qui-Gon and Gretz Droom observing Yoda and I'm a Gun Dies duel.
I'm a Gun D.
I'm a Gun D. Yeah. And he was a Nikto. Yeah, it's a bad name. It's almost like you almost think they made the character because they thought of the name. Like they're like, we have to have our Kenny, our South Park Kenny, and we have to make a character because this name is like Pablo somewhere. Someone comes up with the name. They're like, can you guys make a character that just has no purpose and just dies immediately and just have that be the name? You know what? Like they reverse created it.
That which reminds me of another character. His character's not canon anymore, but he's in the Star Wars lore. The character Shag He, and it's the Jedi who is based on Shaggy from Scooby Doo. Shag He.
Oh wow, jeez.
I think he's in the Clone Wars, not the Clone Wars, but like the Clone Wars Trowski, whatever that show was.
Oh yeah.
The Cartoon Network one for 3 seasons or whatever. Tchaikovsky?
Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky.
I think he was in that.
Okay.
But yeah, there you go. That's another like dumb. They probably came up with the name before the character. Shag He.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
And I'm a Gun Die. I'm a Gun D.
All right.
Really, I'm a Gun Die.
My last pick is, which I bet people were listening to this wondering if we were going to throw it on there, and we are, Jack Porkins. From A New Hope, died, not BBY, not ABY, he died BY. He died at the Battle of Yavin, sipping on his soda.
I thought you were going to say die BBQ.
Died BBQ. Oh. He did. I love that meme that or that GIF people made of him drinking his soda with his burger while he's flying his X-Wing. But it's just so like it's so 1970s where there's no PC at all, and they're like, all right, we got the chubby guy. His name is Porkins, and at one point his nickname was Piggy, and that's true, and he's played by. William Hootkins, who people would know in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He played one of the FBI agents interrogating Indiana Jones, and he also played Eckhart in 1989's Batman, who people will probably remember. But Jack Porkins, obviously the chubby X-Wing fighter in A New Hope, and it's just so ridiculous that they named him Porkins, and that his nickname was Piggy, and that he died. An embarrassing death, didn't really achieve much at all. And there he went into the stardust outside of the Death Star.
He even seems distracted from like the moment he gets into the X-Wing and like the moment they're getting there. He's like, oh.
Yeah. Like
his death seems like he's not affected by it. Like he's like, oh, it looks like I'm dying.
Was he the one where he starts like squinting a little and there's explosions around his head? Yeah. The New Hope X-Wing deaths are the best because they are very cheesy still.
Yeah.
But I do think Star Wars tried to keep that alive. Like so a lot of the deaths, like even like Elo Asti's death and stuff in The Force Awakens, it's all still kind of cheesy. Like X-Wings pilots, if you are seeing them die in the cockpit, it's usually pretty cheesy. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that. But yeah, Jack Porkins is the pick.
I like the name Porkins, but I think it's like
that?
You said.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that's been turned into such a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I know
it's funny or it's cool because it's dumb. Yeah.
Everyone loves that name because they think it's funny. And then that celebration, they had a Porkins barbecue shirt one year.
Oh, that's clever. That's good.
I always think of the worst crash in that Battle of Yavin scene is
Gold
Biggs
Leader?
Darklighter.
Oh, Biggs. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, he has the most impactful death, but I always see it. It's like, he's like, I'm going down, and then Luke's like, looks out his window, and it looks like somebody like holding a toy with like a little wire.
It kind of
like,
does. Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. And I'm like, it takes you out. It feels like those like really cheap, like
Super
on
8
a
films.
budget
Yeah.
movie trailer on a budget films or
Yeah.
something like that,
But
where they're
that's a
like wrapped
great
up in
name,
toilet
though.
paper for the mummy.
Biggs.
Darklighter.
Oh yeah, that's
Biggs Darklighter, yeah.
Great.
I think Gold Leader's death is the worst. I think he's the one. First of all, he misses his shot, and then I think he's the one who goes, ah! I'm pretty sure that's Gold Leader. Anyway, we have one more pick to close out the Kessel Run. Lacey, what do you got?
So, I'm gonna have to take a second. This name
Clear your
is
throat, yeah.
Pow Doc Draba Takat Sop D Recti Nick Linky T Ki Vef Nick Neseveref Lee Kek, also known as Pow from Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. And the reason I chose this, guys, is because weeks ago we were talking about the Thrawn excerpt, and I was saying how everyone's name had all these apostrophes in it, and I was like, what does this even mean? And this is the longest known Star Wars character's name, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 apostrophes in it, and it looks like someone just went like this on a keyboard. And they were like, there we go. And why? Why would you do this? I don't even get the benefit of doing this except to say it's the longest known Star Wars name.
Yeah, I mean, so he originated in a sketch from The Force Awakens, never made it into the final cut.
With this name?
That I'm not positive. I think the character, like the look.
Oh.
When it was decided to use him for Rogue One, it was concluded his look didn't fit with the military, so they replaced his hair with a different type of hair. The name they don't say.
Because I wonder if the character always was Pow, and then they were like, you know what?
I think so.
Let's add to this.
Let's just get, it's probably a Pablo thing where he's like, let me just annoy fans so that they can never say his name.
To me, and I could be wrong on this, but I would assume that if I were to put a little bit of lore on this, the reason this is because his species just takes on the name of like their ancestors or something
so like
along
when
those
people have
lines.
multiple names.
Yeah, because I mean, we kind of do that. Like
names and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do that even with our last names in general. Like we're named with our last names because like our history, and we carry that over. But I could see this being like, well, everybody knows him as Pow, but like his actual technical full name is this because he has this long history of family or whatever, but lineage.
The only other one in canon is Sakala. So that's not a long name, but she was a female who wrote songs opposing the Galactic Empire. And apparently, Pow at the Battle of Scarif says her name as part of his battle cry on Scarif.
What? That's weird.
Yeah.
It also throws out my theory, unless it's like a male-female thing or something.
Could
Might
be.
It's just ridiculous. It's
that was on my list, though,
ridiculous.
Lacey.
a sentence-long name.
It's ridiculously stupid. One of the worst names. Yeah. All right, so let's run the names down here.
I can't wait for John to say that name. Go ahead.
I'm doing the short version.
No, say the full name.
All right, so we have Count Dooku, Attack of the Clones, Finn, The Force Awakens, Slow and Low, The Last Jedi, Droopy McCool, Return of the Jedi, Ellen Sleaze-Bigano, Attack of the Clones, Scio Bibble, The Phantom Menace, Therm Scissor Punch Solo, Mama the Hutt, The Clone Wars, Chomsalot Stark, nothing, just the dad of the other Stark guy. I'm a Gundee, The Clone Wars, which is probably the funniest one. Jack Porkins, A New Hope, and
Go ahead.
Pow Doc Draba Takat Sop Directi Nick Lakdi T Ki Vef Nick Nisavif Lee Kek, also known as Pow.
It sounds like someone's taking your audio track and running it backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until like they're speaking in
You did
tongues.
a good job with that, though.
Yeah, way better than I did. Well
thanks.
done.
Try to be one take. So that's it. Yeah, that's our Kessel Run, our 12 picks. Let us know what you think about our choices. I know we're probably going to get some flack for a few of them, and that's cool. Quote tweet the episode on Twitter with your picks, or hit us up in the comments on YouTube, or however you want to reach us. If you're a patron, light up the chat. Let's have fun chatting about it there. We always have a good time chatting with you guys in the main chat and those sorts of things. But we hope you enjoyed this version of the Kessel Run. Perhaps one day we'll do the best character names, because we like the balance here in the Resistance broadcast.
Clearly Luke Skywalker.
But now we're going to hear from you in Resistance Transmissions. So, Lacey, let's see what we got.
All right, guys, it's time for Resistance Transmissions. So as you guys know, every week, John puts up a crazy, wacky situation on Twitter at RBATSWNN, and you guys give your answers. And I don't know what the scenario is, I don't know what you said, and we see what happens. Yeah, that's basically it. All right. So the scenario is Queel, aka Ugnulty, as we call him here, didn't expect to die, so he never cleared his browser history. This is a throwback. What was one of his last HoloNet, aka Google, searches? Still the best thing is Ugnulty Twitter account. After he died, he was like, well, what do I do now? Still so good. All right. First up is Andrew Staley. Hey, Andrew. At Deuce_Staley. And he said, Ugnulty t-shirt. Oh. Maybe we could try to bring it back. Can we try to bring it back?
Maybe Teespring will.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if anybody has one. Did anyone ever get one? Isn't there like one person that has one?
I think possibly the person who runs the Ugnulty account has one.
Has one. Just one.
I'm not positive on that. I think there was one purchase, and I think it's that person.
Up next is Ugnulty at Ugnulty.
There he is.
Nice.
Celeb tweet. He said, if you must know, Strandcast pics from the cytoclaves of Nora.
So that's a Mandalorian deep cut. That's
definitely
what
he thinks
the bioengineering, what Cara Dune is, he thinks.
Cara Dune is, yeah. So they must be like beautiful creatures or something.
But I love
Are you an angel?
I love that Ugnulty came back from the dead to tell us like what his mundane final search was, which would have made sense in Ugnulty's
which was looking for babes.
Ugnulty's a very literal. No, he's looking for clones.
I thought he said that's where she came from. She's so pretty.
Bioengineered being.
Yeah, but Strandcast, though, is like the new term for like created, because like Snoke is Strandcast.
Right, so is he looking for babes then? Because he hit on her in the show, basically.
No, it's just...
Are you sure?
Ugnulty's being very...
I took it as he was looking for babes, yeah.
Looking for babes, yeah.
Well, buckle up, Lacey. That's all I have to say.
All right. So next is David Probus at P Buff Daddy 00. I do that every time. And David says 40 different ways to tell someone the conversation is over. Results. Well, it's probably one of those articles like, and number 3 surprises you. 1, I have spoken. 2, make Solo 2 happen. 3, TRB is the greatest.
Wow.
David.
Nice.
Stop. David's like, right. How do I get mine on the show?
Genghis Skull at Genghis Dingus. Genghis, where you been?
Genghis Skull.
Genghis, no matter what Genghis Dingus wrote here, I had to include him because he's the one who made the Hall of Fame with the Han Solo browser history tweet. He was their first Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. All right, he said popular baby names 9AB. Why?
That's sad.
That's really funny.
That's sad, though.
That's really funny. Popular baby names. All right, next is Geeky Gator Crocodile at _Geeky Gator. Hey, Geeky Gator. And they said, how to entertain baby while their father is out killing stormtroopers.
It's important.
Next is Kendallorian at Galactic Curator. Hey, Kendall. He said, what species, big eyes, long ears, green? That is exactly, by the way, how I Google.
That's how you gotta Google.
I don't get, like, Google full sentences. I'm always like, photo, Mandalorian, snow. Like,
going back to the last one, too, he would have had to Google that while headed back to the Razor Crest on the... creature. I always forget their names.
Yeah.
What are they called? Blurg, yeah.
Blurg.
So he's like riding back and he's like, there's stormtroopers behind and he's like Googling that on his phone.
So I always do one to try to get the engines running, and mine was Blurg top speed. And I was picturing him on his Blurg, Googling how fast the Blurg could go.
Next is Celebrating Star Wars at Celebrating SW.
What's up, Chris?
Said, can a trigger-happy murder droid make good tea?
1911.
Next is Mello at A Gray Jedi. Hey, Mello, hope you're well. Mello said, which way is the way? That is a deep question. It's like, what is life, Which way is the way?
Which way is the way?
And last but not least is Scott Gibson at Scott Gibby, who said, where can I watch Ugnaughty? All right. Where can I watch Ugnaught 6?
They made 6 of those things.
Not even 1 or 2, just 6.
Like Ugnaughts torrent. Like or something.
So this is Queel, like I said, working at the video store, walking in and waiting until everybody leaves, and then he slowly makes his way to that closet.
Oh my gosh, that might be Hall of Fame for me. That's pretty good.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, because someone else did one that said, where can I find Ugnaughty girls or something? But I always go by who does it first. And Scott's was an hour, beat that person by an hour. So sorry, the other person, but Scott sniped you. But that was
I love that it's
so
6 though. Ugnaughty.
that puts it over.
All right, guys.
So good, Scott. Good job.
Do you guys think Hall of Fame? What were we thinking?
We doling out too many Hall of Fames lately?
We haven't done that many this year.
You did one like last week.
I did 2 the other week.
That's insane.
Scott, you're an honorable mention. How about that?
It's really good.
All right, guys, if you want to be on the show, make sure to follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN. Look out for the Resistance Transmissions tweet. You can probably find it via the hashtag if you're looking, but it comes out usually Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah. But yeah, you can make it on the show. You can talk about your handle. You can make me giggle. It's a great time. Back to you, John.
I just want to thank everybody for listening or watching and being a part of TRB. If you're new to the show, make sure you do subscribe because we do 2 episodes every week, Monday and Thursday. But also we have the Mando Fan Show, which is going to be back tomorrow. At first, we're doing it live, 8:30 East PM on youtube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos. This channel here. So make sure you do subscribe. And so it's 3 shows a week that we're hitting you with. So whether it's YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you do follow or subscribe, whatever the platform requires, so that you're ready to go and you know when our shows are hitting, and you can stay up to date so you don't fall behind. If you didn't catch last week's Mando Fan Show because you didn't watch The Mandalorian yet or whatever, it's still there. It's on the channel or the same podcast feed as TRB. So check that out, because tomorrow we're going to be joined by Alex and Molly Damon of Star Wars Explained, who are going to chat about Chapter 10 with us. So we're going to wake up, watch that, and have the Mando Fan Show tomorrow night. Make sure you are also going to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day for your Star Wars news, your reviews, because we are doing written reviews of The Mandalorian, your editorials, information, and more. What else we got here? teespring.com/stores/resistance broadcast to get all of our gear, including this cute guy here, Gary the Porg. We got the Kenobi shirt, all the new Mando Fan Show stuff coming at you, and of course Make Solo 2 Happen. And don't forget, guys, the Make Solo 2 Happen pin is available now. So just go to teespring.com/Make Solo 2 Happen pin. Get your pin and rep it, because if we want to make Solo 2 happen, we got to expand beyond the internet. And if you wear the pin and plug it, people see it. They're like, that's a good idea. I'm going to tell people that they should do that too. What else we got here? I believe that is
The grand
it.
prize, Mando code.
What about the Mando code?
Talking about why they should watch Mando Fan Show.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Get the code.
yeah. So hopefully you gathered the first part of the code last week. We released the first number. And we're going to release the next number tomorrow. So every week you want to make sure you tabulate that, and because no one's going to help you. Everyone wants to win this prize. No one's going to be like, "Hey, you missed it. Here's the deal." So you got to watch the show, get the number so you can keep that code going, and jot it down somewhere safe because you want to gather all those numbers and be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
And what is the prize, John?
Why don't you tell them what the prize is?
The prize is a collectible Mandalorian bounty hunter set from our friends at Jewelry Brands, which includes the medallion that Werner Herzog's character wears, the Mandalorian skull necklace that Baby Yoda carries around, and also a piece of Beskar steel.
Yes.
They're limited edition, comes with a certificate, it's numbered. So that is our grand prize. And over the coming weeks, the bounty will grow. But to start, that is a killer prize. And we're so excited to be working with Jewelry Brands on that. And if you can't wait to win and you want to get other stuff to gear up for The Mandalorian, you can head over to jewelrybrands.shop and use TRB at checkout and get 10% off.
Not bad. Yep. Mm-hmm. Johnny Hoey on Twitter, StarWarsNewsNet.com, where you find me, James.
Twitter and Instagram at MyerChunks.
Lacey.
You can find me watching Ugnaughty Ugnaught 6 at
Oh.
Lacey Gillerin on Twitter and Instagram.
Is that out yet?
Getting blocked, I guess, by Twitter. We're banned, suspended. They let people do weird things these days on there, though, so you never know. Mm-hmm. That is that, and you'll find the three of us tomorrow on the Mando Fan Show, as we said. So we hope everyone enjoyed this show. We hope you enjoyed the Mandalorian Chapter 10 tomorrow. Enjoy the Mando Fan Show, then enjoy your weekends, and we'll be back again on TRB Monday morning. So until then, we'll see you around, kids.